What up, y'all? Back to another discussion. This time, legacy support, round 2. Alright, y'all, so Exceeds era decks are some of our favorite decks personally. I mean, this dude loves Mermails, Tobi freaking loves Inzektors, and I love both Evil Swarm and Fire Fist, and they're old enough now to be considered like legacy in our opinion. So
well, his more is 5Ds a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
they're pretty old.
Yeah,
that's why they all got hit to one. Inzektors,
pretty much, yeah. So we did a discussion before. It was me, Gary, and Francisco, where we were talking about Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes, and their support. We wanted to do that kind of like again because with the announcement of Fire Fist potentially getting some more support, and a lot of people know about the Link monster that Fire Fist. Finally, exactly. I've been crying for it for a while. Like watching Inzektors get a Link monster and Mermails and all these other archetypes from around the same time get support, and we hadn't gotten crap since Judgment of Light. I mean, you can count Zodiacs, but they got hit to uselessness. So
yeah, now they're all bad.
And then Evil Swarm, we got Steel Swarm Origin, which isn't even really necessary. You're really just sitting on an Ophion still, anyways. So we're just gonna talk about today like what we want to see in the future for these archetypes. So Tobi, I'm gonna start with you, Bug Boy.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like Inzektors have kind of felt the wrath of just the overall Yu-Gi-Oh community over the years, especially with the fact that just when they first came out, of course they were super boss as hell, and people started running them in tournaments, just because people started finding exploits, just with the deck itself. And then of course it ended up getting a preemptive ban, as I recall. And so it was kind of disappointing when I was running that deck. Right when the ban list hit was when I just finished that deck too, truth be told. And just sort of trying to carry on, just having an Inzektor deck throughout the years after that, was a bit challenging. You were still able to make plays, especially with some dark support. I mean, a lot of people ran Allure of Darkness, even back then when it was still at 1. And then there was a lot of options with Armageddon Knight, Summoner Monk, and all that stuff, but it was such a typical thing. And of course, with a dark deck, you had options for boss monsters like Dad, and if you had an Effect Veiler in there, of course you had the option to run BLS, which was always the big go-to for that deck. But nonetheless, the deck was just kind of just left in the dust. Ended up getting some generic insect support over time. Just wasn't really necessarily enough. It just kind of gave way for an additional means to equip Dragonfly, which is in the form of a Cocoon of Ultra Evolution.
Still expensive, I think.
A little bit expensive, yeah. But
Weevil would be proud.
A little bit. I mean, honestly, I feel Weevil's cooler brother, though, because he was into, more nerdy stuff, he's into, superheroes at the same time as, bugs, too, but I digress. Honestly, when Pico Felina hit as, our form of support, for the Link era, I felt like it was a good way to, sort of speed up Inzektors a little bit. It did give us draw power and a means to, sort of equipped Inzektors and, proc Inzektor effects, But I felt like, a weak attack Inzektor Link monster just wasn't enough. Good. It was, good support. Granted it opened up, the gates for, your Xyz plays and stuff. But as far as anything goes, unless Inzektors get a full-on Link support just by themselves, I feel like Inzektors would just end up, sort of sitting at the rogue table, at the kids' table.
Table 500.
Basically.
As they call it.
There's so much random insect support, I feel like it's never really meshed together. I remember one time we were investigating into the digital bugs, too, to try to build some stuff, We went through some dark times with Inzektors, folks, just to let you know that. It was... But...
It worked pretty well, on theory, though. I did manage to get those digital bug plays off, when I ran this deck at regionals, when we made it for that regionals. I was managing to make those plays, and, there was good synergy, but it's just there wasn't a means to actually, sort of bring those out of the deck a
Yeah.
whole lot more constantly, and
Well,
that was kind of the
I don't know if
disappointing
you
part.
guys find this same issue, but like, I mean, with Mermails, it's a little different because you can still just OTK with your monsters. But I feel like you and me, like with Fire Fists and Inzektors, I feel like the main thing is that we use a lot of our monsters just to do typical things that a lot of decks would do. Like if with my Fire Fist, I'm finding spicy ways to get extra monsters on board, right? By using like Zodiacs, even though I got no Dryden and stuff, like just using the monsters and like Barrage. And it's like I end up just realizing my best option is just a Borreload Dragon. You know, like
Just for a Borreload.
yeah, and it's like I'm glad that I'm getting a Link monster who's gonna, you know, help me use my effects way easier. Because if you guys don't know what the Link monster does, he pretty much makes it so you don't have to send away your Fire Fist, like your Fire Formation spell and traps to activate the Fire Fist monster effects, which is really broken because there's ones that summon, that pop, that, you know, do a lot of different stuff, and that's kind of what Fire Fist has been needing because it's pretty easy to stop Fire Fist, especially in today's meta, you know?
It's like Magical Musketeers. They have their Link coming out soon.
Yeah.
Maybe soon. And that card, I read it. It was so dumb. It's just like, it's like, wow. It's a Link 1, too. You don't have to invest too many monsters.
Dang.
So
One
it's
thing
like,
I always kind of noticed is that, especially like back in their days, like Fire Fist and Inzektors always kind of like duked it out, especially with like, you know, their respective like, you know,
Yeah.
players and
I mean,
stuff
don't
like
get me
that.
wrong. Before our hit too, back in the day, I mean, now nothing really Fire Fist is banned, you know, but like unless you count the Zodiacs, but they're just like a splashable engine in anything. But like Wolf Bark is still like a really good card, you know, and normal summoning is a shitty mechanic unless you have like what Fire Fist has, which is like, you know, extra normal summon capability.
Like Tensu.
You know, like with Tensu, exactly. So, and then of course, like I'm starting to tech like Reborn Tengu again because he is an if, and the fact that he replaces himself is kind of nice in this Link era because even going for a Link 2 in some of these rogue decks right now is a little difficult because, you know, you're using two good monsters essentially, you know, like a bear and a dragon or something, you know, that you want to just maybe summon something extra with, and it's kind of nice to know that I'm going to get a little bit more options sort of in the future. Sorry. But as for Evil Swarm, you know, I don't even know, like, I don't even know what I would really want as support. I mean, I've teched a lot of weird random stuff lately. But I count newer, more annoying traps as support for Evil Swarm personally,
that's all
you know?
you can add in there. Just more floodgates.
Yeah, you know? And, like, I mean, I wish the Link was a little better, though. Like, I wish he helped lock your opponent out of something a little bit more practical than what it does. But I can't really ask for too much for that deck. I'm way more excited for the Fire Fist stuff, especially because I haven't been able to read too much about it, but I know someone told me that we're getting more stuff when that game comes out or whatever.
Yeah, one of the cards, I think, is a Fire Fist card.
Yeah.
I think.
And suppose I've heard rumors of a ritual monster, so I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not so sure how hyped I am on a whole new mechanic to the deck. Like, we already have synchros and exceeds, and it's like, now I got it. Unless that ritual is pre-peppable, I don't want it. If it can't be used with pre-preparation of rites, then I do not want it.
It's kind of like Dark Magicians, how they keep getting these rituals, like the new ritual guy. It's like, why you add rituals when it already does fusion and has some exceeds? So it's like...
Yeah, it's super pointless.
I know Francisco keeps trying to make it work, but it doesn't. So.
Yeah. So for you, you're pretty happy with the few little bit of support you've gotten, right?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, especially with this deck, especially because they're all almost the same type, usually Sea Serpent, but some of them are Aqua, some of them are Fish, especially the Gunday, I believe. Yeah, she's Fish. Or Aqua, I forget. But with the Mermail deck, it does constantly do get support. There's been new cards coming out, usually a common or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, it depends on what you want to do with the deck, because the thing with the Mermails is that they're very versatile.
Yeah.
So that's something I've seen compared to you guys, is that the Mermails, they can adapt. I'm not even joking. They can adapt. They can be control based, or they can be very versatile. They could OTK you. And I think the one card that helped out a lot was Neptibus when it came out in Bosch, because that just helps get your Atlanteans out. And then, like, you know, Dragoons was always hit to 1. Diva is still at 1. But now Dragoons is back at 3. And Dragoons is not a once per turn.
Yep.
So you can just keep searching it out, especially with Neptibus or if you have Mermail. The thing with the new Link, I can't even say her name, I can't even say her name. It only sucks, like I think I mentioned it in my deck profile. It sucks that it's not during your opponent. I mean, you can't use it during your turn, but during your opponent's turn, which is cool because if you do have an Atlantean in your hand, like a heavy infantry or a marksman, you can use it to try to disrupt their play.
Yeah.
So, and then at least you have a way to get to Teus, because I think Teus is very important because it's just such an easy summon. And then you can, I mean, the only target I have to search with it is Abyss Gun. But, I mean, that's all you really need because, you know, like, you just try to run Megalo and try to OTK. And, I mean, that's the way I like playing it. Obviously, there's other ways people play the, I think it's Abyss Nose, Abyss Manda. I forgot what the name of it is. The one that makes all the levels go up too. So you can bring out True King of all calamities. Like, how can you bring out a True King of all calamities in a Mermail deck?
Yeah.
That's so random.
So if you had more support that would come out soon, like I don't know if there's already rumors or you know, like concrete evidence that there is, but what do you think you would rather have? Would you want more Link or extra deck monsters, or would you want another core monster that just helps with the overall, like...
Well, Mermails already have everything, so it's kind of easy to, like, say, like, oh yeah, we want more. Probably like like maybe a bigger Mermail, like maybe a Link 3 that it can, like,
that actually has like 3k attack.
Something, because sometimes it, like I said in my deck profile, is that the Atlanteans are very weak, innately, because their attack is like very low, and the Mermails too. That's why I still run the one Abyss Lead. He's 27. Megalo's only 24. It's hard to get around monsters nowadays.
Things, yeah.
Colossus is like 26, and everything else is like 3K or 2,800. So like that's why I have to have it with the Abyss, the equip.
Yeah.
That's why I run the equip so you can get attack. Or if you get her out, she gives 500 attack but only to what she points to.
Yeah.
So if you have that out, or if you just have them as Star Boy, then you can just run that.
Yep.
And give it 500. But even like I said, something 3K attack, that's pretty hard to get around.
Yeah.
Unless I'm able to pop it, but if I'm playing against Thunder Dragons that have a Colossus out, they could just banish whatever just to save it, and it's like too much work.
I mean, to be honest, like, I kind of feel like both Inzektors and Fire Fist could use the same thing. Because, like, I can, not as easy as Evil Swarm, honestly, but in Fire Fist, I can make rank a lot of exceeds that just give me answers to annoying stuff. But a lot of my base Fire Fist stuff does a lot of targeting, and as we know, a lot of
Targeting
stuff right now unless it's like banishing, that's the only time you really want to run targeting stuff, because it's like if it is going to go off, you want it to be pretty powerful,
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like something like, I do see the same problem too, because like I can make really good Fire Fist monsters, but they're also
on one exceed.
Yeah, and they're also pretty weak, like even if I have a field full of the fire formations, the most like a Tiger King's gonna be is like 2,600 maybe, like, and that's that's if I have a trap out, and so like I would like if I know we're getting that Link 2 for the Fire Fist, but I would like a Link 3 or Link 4 Fire Fist as well, who just takes like Beast Warriors, including a Fire Fist monster.
If they made it generic, because that's that's the one thing I like about the new Mermail is that you can use Fish, Sea Serpent, and or Aqua types monsters. So like I still use Swap Frogs and
everything. Yeah,
Diva can bring out another monster, so that's an extra material. Or moving Glacier, even after you use its effect to rip cards from your opponent's hand, you could just use it for Link fodder or whatever if you want to. Especially if you're going first. I might as well at this point. But that's why she's so good. If it was just Mermail monsters, then it'd be a lot harder to get her out, because it's like, you gotta invest so many resources in the Mermails. And I don't run that many Mermails to begin with, especially the lower level ones. I only run the big level ones. So it's good that it's generic. And you can use it in any deck. That's the cool thing.
Yeah. One thing I also kind of notice is that, like, that, and along with the Evil Swarms, is that, like, these decks, I feel like, sort of depend on, well, not necessarily depend, but at least look towards the Nightmare Engine as a means of, like, a toolbox support.
Oh, for sure, yeah. That's what I kind of alludes to the Borreload discussion earlier. It's like we end up spamming all our main plays to just make meta stuff. Yeah, your resources just go to. And that's why I would like to see change. I would like to have more Fire Fist links, so at least I'm actually saying like I'm winning because of Fire Fist cards,
But like you drop a Borreload and they're like, Borreload Sword.
Yeah.
Whatever.
One thing that I kind of wish that Inzektors had, kind of similar to what like Fire Fists have, like, is more of not just like, spells, but like more continuous spells that sort of allow for an additional pop on the field, because that's what really Inzektors really need, is just additional means to pop your spells or to pop your Inzektor equips on the field.
Yeah.
Because
Or just something broken. Like
we
just
need
summoning one from the deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another
Or
thing.
equipping to
Yeah,
the
like
deck.
that's another thing I was gonna say is like I would like for Inzektors or Firefist to like if we're not gonna get like the super spicy stuff, at least give us the niche stuff. Like Bujin's always had the advantage of being able to multiple honest essentially, you know, and like damage step stuff. So it's like give us damage step stuff so we can get over those annoying monsters that can't be destroyed and
Yeah.
stuff, or give us like more removal or like give us negates, you know, like something. Like we don't need too much crazy stuff. Like the fact that Tiger King, like I feel like they missed the mark with him so bad. Like he negates all face up non-beast warriors for like a couple turns, right? But it's like if that was a quick effect, it'd be so much better, you know? Like I wouldn't mind if he had to take off 2 materials to
Well,
do
take
it
all his
also.
materials.
Yeah, you know, all his materials to do it. Like that would be worth it to me. But instead we just like they missed the mark with some of this stuff so bad.
Well, obviously,
you know?
the
The time was different, yeah.
Now
But
it's
like
so. Like,
I would just like some more adaptability if we're gonna get support in this new meta. That's good because you know they do that to a lot of archetypes. They give them new support, but they give them an effect that's like their era, you know. And it's like if you're gonna give them a new support card, make it actually good. Like
Make it relevant.
Like Blackwings,
Yeah.
every other Blackwing card is like good, but the ones in between are like, what the hell is this? Like, why am I ever gonna do
and
this?
sometimes
you know?
they're even used in different decks.
Yeah.
Blackwings, because they're all generic. Like the level 5, the Soraya the Rain or something. It was used in FTK decks.
Yeah.
Or back then, especially when it was like you can summon like 3 Quasars or whatever. It was used because you could just banish summon or something like that. And like in my Blackwing version, I just try to play it as like regular and normal.
Yeah.
Make it fun. Just summon out some synchros.
Also, just in general, back then Gale was just used as like a generic one of support.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you could just normal and just half attack of a monster, like why not?
yeah.
Like half an attack.
Gale is an annoying monster. I shout out Gale in a bad way.
But I mean, like that's why with Inzektors is like, why can't they give them like a spell that says like, you know, or a continuous where it's like whenever you normal summon an Inzektor, equip one from the deck. Like that would just be broken because that's all they did, right? Was equip stuff.
Yeah, and then they're
just
already
loop-
still
and loop
limited,
it.
so give them something powerful to make up for what
And you barely
know.
got Hornet back, right?
Personally, I just feel like it's about time Inzektors were just stricken off the ban list altogether. Because, like, you know,
Dragonfly
Hornet...
style.
Yeah, when Hornet, you know, came up to 3, I was more than ecstatic. You know, just the fact that, you know, I'm able to, like, just bring out Hornet and have multiple means to, like, you know, pop, just giving me more resources, of course. But, like, honestly, none of that, you know, like, all of that is just meaningless without, you know, just additional, like, you know, special summons and, you know, just additional support, you know, more things that I could pull out of the deck. It's just, you know, honestly, I just feel like Dragonfly just needs to come back to 3.
Maybe next
It's about
ban
time.
list.
If not 3, then maybe 2. At the very
Or
least.
give you some new broken insect support, like a generic insect spell that's like
Because honestly,
target an
Dragonfly...
insect on your field, special summon an insect in defense from your graveyard with equal to or less level and the same attribute,
That'd
but
be
its
pretty
effects
good.
are negated. Or some crap like that, you know? I don't know.
Honestly, I
Let
would
me
like,
make cards.
People would just run Dragonfly, like, just up to full 3 just for the sake of consistency nowadays. Because that's all it really needs, is consistency.
Because Dragonfly
told.
adds, right?
Dragonfly special summons. Just from
One
the deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? Like, why not?
But, I mean, you're able to negate the effect. you
Well, that's
know?
another thing. Yeah, that's gonna like with Ash and so much crap. I
Exactly.
feel like their stuff isn't that.
The
broken,
meta's
you
able
know?
to, like, keep up with this
If
deck, so
Dragonfly
I
comes
feel like
back
it's
to
about
3,
time.
Dragonfly comes back to 3, nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure. It's like Stratos. They're still hella terrified. They put Stratos to
But
1.
make
you
the
know?
deck more competitive. Make the deck
Stratos
active,
actually might
you
make
know?
an impact, but yeah, Dragonfly I don't think would be a threat.
I'm just happy Dragon's back at 3. Diva, I don't see coming back at all for a while, only because she just summons one from the deck really easily. So just having her one's cool, but Dragon's back at 3 was the one. Because I was like, Diva needs to be back, not Dragoons. But I'm like, no, Dragoons actually needs to be back at 3. So I'm happy it came back slowly but surely.
Well, we'll see what the future holds for us, gentlemen.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, it's been Toby and Abraham joining me for today's discussion. Thank you guys for watching. If you run any of these decks or any other Exceed decks, you know, era decks, let us know what support you'd like to see and what you think about these decks and what you'd like to see for these decks as well. Let us know in the comment section below. Check us out on our social medias. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more discussions.
Black Wings always get support.
I hate them.
YugiBOOM!